Hello, welcome to March 5th, 2026. It's a Thursday. My name is Kurt, and this is my daily good life meditation, a live video broadcast exercise that I do every morning, or at least I try to do uh, every morning at 5:30 a.m. to remember my life objectives and principles, those which I've taken efforts in my life to uh, discover and then record and contain within this book, Going Alone, which you can read for free at goingalone.org. You can also get it on Amazon and from bookstores if you ask. I also think about during this exercise this morning, I think about the last 24 hours, how I did with the challenges and the opportunities that I've had. I review my creed and I prepare for the coming day. And unlike yesterday, I hope that this will continue more than a minute. I had to need to be up at very early and out and about uh, yesterday morning, and as a result, I tried to do this live broadcast from the parking lot of a 7-Eleven here in town, and it didn't work, and the connection dropped, and so yesterday it didn't succeed. Back in my usual situation, although hopefully soon I'll be out in the patio on the veranda again. You can see the sun is every day inching closer to being offering sunlight at 5:30 a.m. Anyway, on with it. I I want to say hello to new subscribers to the channel. Welcome, and a big thank you to my YouTube members and supporters. I really appreciate you. And a disclaimer that this is a journal entry, so I can talk about anything I want. And I sometimes talk about my own expectations and plans almost for my own death. So that sometimes makes people uncomfortable. Just a heads up. I am also suffering severe allergies, so excuse me if once in a while I have to just put the mic down and blow my nose. I'll try to keep that limited, and I'll try to move on fast. So let's get started. What about first, let's talk about the last 24 hours. Yesterday was a very significant day. I was able to successfully apply for Social Security in the United States. My application is in now and being reviewed by the Social Security Administration folks in the great state of Delaware. I should know shortly how everything proceeded out, and my Social Security payments will begin in July. So it's just 3 months away. Very exciting. Wow. I've been, if you follow these, you may remember I was plagued by technical challenges in the last couple of months when I was trying to access the system to turn on Social Security, but I couldn't get the system to take it couldn't take anything. Hold on just a second here. I just reset the chat. It looks like maybe the chat wasn't working. Oh, there we go. Hello, Claude. Get well soon. Stay away from dust. Protect your lungs when gardening. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's good to see you, Claude. But anyway, I couldn't do it, and I figured out, and I did research, and I figured out that I was doing it too soon. You can't really get in there until about 4 months ahead of your actual retirement. You need to consider this not your the month in which you turn the age that you can want to start is 4 months ahead of that. Well, no, what I should say is if you want to turn on retirement um, at your earliest possible date, which is age 62, you need to do that 4 months from the month after you turn 62. That's the trick. And then it works just fine. And it worked just fine yesterday. I was really impressed. I'm going to make a separate video later today talking about the process and the information that's needed and how it all goes. But I'm very excited. I'm in the system now. And then in just a few months, Yumiko will do the same. Yumiko's extra lucky. She's eligible for Social Security both in the United States and Japan. So we'll execute hers in 3 months, and then when she turns 65, we'll execute her Social Security in Japan, and you can have both. So I was kind of yesterday after that was done. I did that in the morning after I was done. I kind of floated around all day. It felt a lot like when I first retired, and it kind of floated around all day in a weird sense of make believe. I'm sure that that's exactly what it's like when people win the lottery and they float around for a couple of days in a weird sense of make believe that the life has changed in some way. And then, of course, as Emerson and Thoreau would report, and others. Your giant remains, whatever unresolved issues, other than the ones that can be addressed with money. excuse me, other than the ones that can be addressed with money, remain to be tackled. The greatest thing that comes of retirement, and or one of the greatest, at least in my perspective, one of the greatest things that comes of retirement, and if Tim, if you're out there, I'd love to hear your perspective as well, is the sense of freedom from the danger of a sort. Although the danger of losing your job and losing your income, and being able to sustain and support yourself and your dependents if you're a breadwinner, that was very worrisome, and it propelled me and motivated me hard throughout my life to work really hard to make sure that, because I had brought my family to the bitter edge before, to make sure that that didn't happen again. And once retirement kicks in, and at least the necessities are no longer an issue, then that just doesn't feel the same anymore. That's money. Money does definitely help a lot when it comes to worry about the things, our needs, right? The old Maslow's hierarchy of need, right? Food, shelter, warmth, etc. And then you can attend to the higher interests. Anyway, I kind of have gone off on a trail there, but so yesterday I was another one of those floating days, perhaps the last of them for me. You know, I've perhaps the last one, maybe the last floaty thing that remains. So what I was left after that, though, and this is a new one, totally new one. To- Totally took me by surprise. I didn't expect this. I probably should have made a note even here. I didn't. My last 24 hours note simply says Social Security Application Day. I was left in the afternoon with this echoing sense that, wow, I'm really old. I'm on Social Security, because whether or not one thinks of being 62 as very old or not, a lot of people have their very different opinions about that. In my upbringing, in my mind, there was a class of people that were old by virtue of the fact that they were the Social Security set, right? They were the people on Social Security. And in my mind, I grew up thinking of them as old people. And now I have crossed over into that cohort, so to speak. And I'm not against it, but at all. I'm happy to be here, but like, wow, how did that happen? How did I get here so fast, right? All right, my creed consists of 8 objectives and 35 principles. The 8 objectives are: number 1, readiness for death, having my affairs, relationships, and life's work in order. Number 2 is to make good use of my time so that I'm squeezing the best utility out of every day. Number 3 is to develop and maintain the principles in my book, and so that I can achieve the objectives outlined in the book. Number 4 is to cultivate good emotional reactions. I had fortified myself yesterday before I logged into the Social Security Administration website to begin the application process. I had fortified myself that I would fail again, not really knowing what I was going to do if I did, although I had some backup plans, which included working with the United States Embassy if it failed, and even getting on an airplane and flying back to America to go into a Social Security office there to take care of things. So I had fortified myself and prepared myself. This is in alignment with objective number 4, the cultivation of good emotion reactions. So if when I click that same spot on the button on the application on the website, I got a failure mode again, I would not panic or, you know, exclaim, but instead I would react reasonably in accordance with reason, which is objective objective number principle number 2. Second. Okay, number 5, the objective number 5. Hold on, I've got all kinds of candles going up. 3 of them all at once going up. See how I'm trying not to multitask? Principle number 5 is to uh, make decisions in the course of the day and in the course of my life that that instantiate. That's not the right word. Number 5 is to perform good actions relative perform good actions and just make good decisions relative to my values, right? Make decisions and choice and act and then perform actions in accordance with the values that I've outlined in my book. That's it. Number 6 is to recognize the limits and the opportunities which are truly before me. And then 7 is to not multitask, but to do just one thing at a time and do said things slowly, deliberately, and carefully. Number 8 is to reach a state of balance in my life, that I'm operating from a stable footing sense. And for the most part, that's a result. It's a consequence of the first 7 objectives of achieving those. All right. Now I'm going to read now the principle number 3, titled "The Homunculus," a funny name for a principle. Okay. The Homunculus. This is the small, mute, and page 253 of the hardbound edition of the book. This is the. I need a light over here. This is the small, mute, and hidden man within my head, the imaginary mortal who seemingly pulls my levers and strings and hints at my opinions and judgments, and who must die utterly upon the failure and dissolution of my person. The homunculus is as imaginary as a soul, though a much better vehicle to remind myself that consciousness is nothing more than another organ of my body, serving a particular function, and as subject to corruption and death in the end as my spleen, liver, or any other bodily organ. I picture the homunculus as my little hermit that lives in my head behind my skull and watches and attends life. It burns as long as I'm alive, and then when my bodily functions cease, the homunculus dies with the rest of me, and that's the end of me. No, no soul, nothing to last forever. That gives me an urgent sense that I need to live well and attend to life in an earnest and sincere manner, and when the opportunities are before me. Okay, as for the next 24 hours, it's a Thursday. Usually today's the day that I would go into town to lead the English club at the school where I do part-time work. But we're in the middle of we're end of the school year, and graduation is next week, so there's no English club this week. So I am free, completely free. With my social security machinations in the rearview mirror, I am going to spend the entire day in the garden. I imagine that I'll be suffering greatly this time tomorrow if I spend a full day out of doors, but I'm going to do it. That's it for today. Let's go ahead and read the comments. Hello again, Claude. Thank you for. It's good to see you. I've got this candle's just gone out. Let me light this one again. Marmighty. Hi, Marmighty. Hello to me and Claude. Good to see you both here. Thank you. Evelyn. Hi, Evelyn. Says hi to myself, Claude, and Marmighty. Finally able to catch the live from Italy. Yay. All right. Well, I'm going to close off for today. And I wish everybody all the best. Be safe, but not too safe. And talk to you next time.